Hi, everyone. Welcome to the webinar organized by Tomi.ai. I see that attendees are joining in. Let me share my screen and start the webinar. So we'll talk about a predictive attribution today and its comparison to data-driven attribution. A little bit about Tomi.ai. Tomi.ai is a predictive marketing platform for digital marketers in long-cycle businesses. The company was founded by myself and Dmitry. We have an extensive experience in digital marketing. For example, I was a digital marketing director in a large e-commerce company, and then moved to work for a large real estate company where I understood how hard it is to do digital marketing in real estate. That's how Tomi.ai was started. And Dmitry, my co-founder, he has a very extensive experience in banking industry, and he spotted a really strong case for application of our technology for banking industry. So Tomi.ai provides solutions for digital marketers to target the relevant audience, to optimize digital ads for the expected lifetime value, to provide measurement, and to get the insights about what is going on the website. The topic of the call today is about measurement, and we'll talk about attribution model that Tomi.ai is providing. Here's our agenda for today. So first, we'll talk about different kinds of attribution models that are on the market. Then we will talk about why you need a predictive marketing attribution model for long cycle businesses compared to other types of attribution models. And then we'll show you an example of application of a predictive marketing attribution in real world for a customer of Tomi.ai. So attribution model is a very important part of the marketing technology stack. You're probably familiar with this, exciting chart demonstrating a lot of different tools in marketing technology, marketing and advertising technology. There are about like 8,000 companies there, and analytics and attribution modeling is a whole big continent in that sea of different marketing technology tools. Attribution is a very, very important part of the day-to-day life of marketers that helps marketers to measure and to understand the ROI of their marketing campaigns and channels. And on a higher level, you can classify all the attribution models by 7 types. And if we go from bottom to the top, these are the post-view attribution models that are based on views of the ads. They used to be popular in the past and still used to today because it was possible to do these kind of attribution models in Google and Facebook some time ago, and now it is only possible to do it in open internet. The last click attribution is probably the most simple and the most widely used attribution, when the value of the transaction is attributed completely to the last touch of the website visitor, and disregarding any other previous touch points. The next rule-based attribution model tries to fix that, and it uses a certain rule to decide where to put the value for that particular transaction for the past touch points, like first click, last click, etc. And the problem with the rule-based models that they're quite simple. So people started to develop data-driven models that use some statistical analysis to do some more complicated allocation of value of transaction to previous touch points. And the predictive attribution that we'll be talking more about today is a different kind of attribution models that is trying to give the value for each session of the website visitor in real time based on the behavior of the visitor and maybe some attributes of the session. And that's a forward-looking attribution model that predicts what will happen in the future rather than allocating the happened transaction to the past. And the last 2 types of attribution models or attribution analysis that you can do are the econometric-based models that usually are used to measure the TV efficiency of TV ads, for example, or other offline-based channels. And marketing mix modeling these are like comprehensive models of the behavior of website visitors that help marketers to plan their media budgets and to see how much business outcomes they can get depending on some budget allocation to the channels on a longer time period. One by one, post-view attribution model is, the most early that was done in the past, that tried to attribute business outcomes to the impressions of the ad. And it used to be a very powerful tool, but recently, as I already mentioned, Google and Facebook are starting to close the data, and they're becoming the so-called walled gardens, so that it's not possible to see the granular information of every ad view in Google and Facebook advertising platforms. Also, it's getting harder to take the link the offline business outcomes to the online behavior because of the stringent privacy regulation that is happening on the market recently. And the last two things that are happening or has already happened are the third-party cookie depreciation in Chrome, which has already happened in Safari and Firefox. And the last year's big change for Apple iOS tracking for devices larger than iOS 14.5 also forbids very granular tracking of people on the web and in mobile apps. As a result of all these changes in the industry, we cannot do deterministic tracking anymore in some of the parts of the online journeys of customers, but in the future it will be even harder. So the next bucket of models are last click or rule-based models that were widely adopted and popularized by Google Analytics. So probably everyone on this call, has been in Google Analytics at some point, and you definitely saw the most common last click attribution there. But also you can, decide that the value of the transaction that is happening, that someone is converting, can be allocated not just to the last click that happened for this particular user, but for example for the first click, last and first click altogether, or average, or any kind of time decay manner, like setting more value to the more recent clicks. And that's that models are really simple. Finance people can understand them easily. So as a joke, even CFO can understand how this attribution model works. But on the other end, they are too simple at some point, and they cannot cover all the channels at the same time. For example, when you do retargeting and you judge your performance of your campaigns by last click, of course you'll get all the value to the retargeting campaign, right? And your top of the funnel campaigns will be penalized, and they will not get enough value that they have generated by bringing the new website visitors. And on the other hand, if you use first click attribution model and judge campaigns that you run in digital marketing by that, some of the campaigns that just bring some low quality, low converting traffic will get a lot of attribution of value just because they introduce the website visitor to the website, but it is our channels who actually did the work and made the conversion happen. So given all that problems, marketers had been thinking about how to create some more sophisticated statistics-driven models, and that's how data-driven models appeared on the market maybe a decade ago or even more. And I personally like two of the variants of data-driven marketing attribution models that I used in the past in my career, both in the large e-commerce company and in other places of work. So one is a vector Shapley based attribution model introduced by Google a long time ago, which is based on the idea that if we see customer journeys that are happening on a website, and there is like changes, like delta changes between the customer journeys, and adding or removing a certain channel in between of others increases the chances of conversion, means that this channel adds this incremental value to the customer journey. A bit similar idea, which is based on Markov chain models, where at the time of training the model, model learns the probabilities of transitions between the different channels, and by doing so, the model can extract what is the impact of every channel, every campaign probably in this chain that generated the actual value for the transaction. So in my opinion, in any business, you have to use multiple attribution models. So you have to use some simple, quick last click or something like that, and one or two more sophisticated models for sure. And when I was using these data-driven attribution models in the past with my teams, I saw the most problematic thing about them is that they have lagging results. So in order to understand what happened with your traffic while you were doing some work in digital marketing, you need to wait for the conversion window to happen for these attribution models to tell you what is the overall value of the clicks that are coming to a website. So if your transactions on a website are happening within 2 weeks window time, you can only check the results of this attribution model back to 2 weeks ago, because the data, the value of clicks in the past is changing within this 2 weeks time frame. And also another drawback of these data-driven attribution models that they're channel-based, right? So if you create a new channel or you create a new campaign, you need to collect some amount of data first in order to retrain your model and make it work for the future. And this is again not that convenient in real applications. That's why I got to an idea of a predictive marketing attribution model about 2-3 years ago. And the whole idea here is that the behavior of website visitors on the website really correlates with the actual business outcomes that are happening much later. And in any business, if you have a very developed website with a lot of content, with some structure in it, so it's not just one-page application, people who are interested in what you sell, like a product or a service, they will come, they will browse your website, they will stay on pages, they will read the content first of all, and they will interact with the content. They will click on some places, in order to expand the content on the website and get deeper into the pages that you have on the website. And so the whole idea of predictive attribution modeling is to collect the most granular behavioral stream of data from the website about what the website visitors are doing. And this can be every page view that is happening on the page, the time on every page, the information about scrolling the page down, and also every click that is happening, which particular element of HTML is being clicked on that click. So from that information, you can extract very important information. For example, in B2B application, B2B SaaS application, people may read your white papers, that they can stay long on certain pages of your website. They can watch some videos if you have them on page. They can go to pricing section and use pricing calculator if you have it, and play with the toggles for pricing calculator, etc. Or people can go into a unpaid trial, and they will start using your product, and by the first sessions of using of your product, you can understand what is their interest, where do they go inside the product, what type of sections they're clicking, etc. And from my experience in multiple applications, both when I was managing the teams inside a large corporation, or our customers today for Tomi.ai, we see that this upper funnel, mid funnel behavior is a good predictor for future business transactions of the business. And the last message from here, from my perspective as a data scientist, if you can predict something with a good, reliable forecast, you understand it. So you can basically explain what is happening. The last, the next type of attribution models that I like really a lot. These are econometric-based models, and how they work. You need to collect very granular information about the costs and efforts you spent on every channel. Doesn't matter. It can be offline, it can be online. It's just the costs you spend on this particular channel, and then you collect the very frequent data readings of the overall traffic on the website and the overall sales from your website, and you can correlate the two in a complicated complex correlation model, econometric model. And data, if you have a certain scale of your business, data will show that there is a correlation between showing an ad on TV and getting extra traffic on a website, and then later extra sales from that traffic. So a good example of this kind of models is Odometry by Google, and it works really well for large size advertisers who have a lot of data, big budgets, who can correlate not only just the full budget of TV to the actual traffic and sales on the website, but also they can even split the spend on different TV channels, different type of programs, etc. So this correlation-based econometric models are a really great tool to compare all the channels you have, offline and online, and they provide the true correlation, true measure of incremental return that you're getting from your investments. The drawback of this type of attribution models is that they need to have enough data to make the correlation, so they don't work for small and some of the medium-sized businesses. And also they're working only for strategic decisions. So you can analyze the performance of your campaigns only on like some long period of time, let's say a month or several months. So the last model, which is the best of the breed you can get, is the holistic model of all marketing channels that models what will happen if you do that or this. If you increase budget in a certain channel, you'll get a certain amount of business outcomes. These models are usually very demanding in terms of types of and variety of data you need to feed to them. A good example of this kind of model is Nielsen's marketing mix modeling tool. And these models, they create a kind of an internal view of how your marketing works, with all the saturation per channel, cross influence of channels with each other, etc., etc. And again, these are great tools. Media planners love them, but these models again can be used only for strategic decisions. For example, budgeting for the next quarter, for the next year. You cannot use them tactically in day-to-day work, to measure performance of your advertising campaigns, for example. So this is the whole universe of potential types of attribution models. Some of them have pros, some of them have some drawbacks, and for different applications, you may need different models. Once again, in my opinion, you need to use 2 or even 3 models at the same time. I would say last click or like simple rule-based model for simple kind of measurement, KPI setting, etc. Some type of data-driven or predictive attribution model for day-to-day work, just how to run your marketing organization and all the marketing investment, and the strategic model, maybe econometric based or media mix modeling, in order to plan, in order to understand what you want to do, in order to achieve the results you have to achieve. So this is all for the overview of attribution models that you can have and use. And our next section is a more focus on predictive attribution modeling for long cycle businesses. And first of all, what are the long cycle businesses? These are businesses like real estate, financial services, expensive B2B SaaS businesses, e-commerce companies with large checks like furniture or electronics. Education technology can be a solution if it's expensive, business education, for example, and online services like insurance, for example. So all of these businesses have 5 of very specific challenges. Let's say we have like a banking advertiser, so they may have long purchase cycles. For example, if a bank sells to a small and medium business and gets an account as a result of the marketing, the sales cycle can be long, it can be several weeks, but also the understanding of the value you're getting from a small or medium business account can be, lagging in terms of kind of happening the actual commissions that the bank is getting. The second part is, variability in the check and the LTV component. So as I said, in the example of the bank, you get the account of a small or medium enterprise, and then you still don't get any sales. You just got an account, and this account starts to generate some revenue for the bank over time. You can upsell, cross-sell some other solutions to this account, and you reveal your lifetime value over time. There is also regulation important for the case of the banking industry. In countries like United States, it's forbidden to discriminate consumers on credit. So you cannot use certain information about consumers when you decide whether to give them the credit, like mortgage or another type of credit line. And some kind of limitation for this industry in terms of marketing as well. The fourth piece is the narrow audience, meaning that the amount of people who may need to get a mortgage, this year is very small. Like only 5% of Americans will buy or sell an apartment or a house within a year. So it doesn't make sense to show the ads to the remaining 95% of the population this year. And offline component is, it's a big part of these long cycle businesses. In real estate, for example, or in mortgages, in many cases, you still need to sign a paper document, or you need to come, or you want to come to an office to close your transaction. So all these 5 challenges make it really hard to do digital marketing in long cycle businesses. And the core of the core problem that follows from that challenges is that the feedback loop in growth cycle for long cycle businesses is broken. So if you look at the e-commerce growth cycle and the funnel, you see that there is a clear feedback loop between what you have in the upper funnel in terms of impressions and clicks, and the business transactions that you get. And in e-commerce, it can be hours or a couple of days from the first interaction with the website when you actually pay, and you pay online, you do the online transaction. And also the conversion rates in e-commerce are quite high. So on average, it's 5% from click to order, and on well-established websites like Amazon, it's even double-digit conversion rates. And in long cycle businesses, it's quite different. So you cannot use the bottom of the funnel events for optimization or for any type of measurement, because you have very rare conversion. Like I've seen, can you imagine like to see 0.01% conversion rate in Google Analytics? Like it's you cannot do anything with it. Like you buy 10,000 clicks and you'll be lucky to get 1 conversion. And the conversions are happening offline. Of course, you can link the offline to online in the modern advertising platforms through offline conversion integration. But if the conversion is happening within weeks or even months from the first interaction on the website, it's too late. Like you did something as a marketer, and then you see the result only in 4 weeks. That will slow down, and it is slowing down digital marketing managers in long cycle businesses today. So the solution that we came up with in Tomi.ai for with focus on long cycle businesses is to use predictive metrics. So if in e-commerce digital marketers decide what amount of budget they want to spend and what type of what level of return on advertising spend ROAS they want to get, they they just do it and set that in Google and Facebook, and smart bidding in Google and Facebook does all the bidding by itself and brings the results. And by the way, Google and Facebook are like 2/3 of the digital marketing spend in the United States right now. And in long cycle businesses, marketers are still either even maximizing the number of clicks sometimes, or they optimize for the cost per lead, cost per contact they collect from the website. and they completely blind in terms of the quality of these leads, and this quality can be very different. Like the conversion from collected contact to the order can be, first of all, it's small, so it's usually below 5% for many of these long cycle businesses, and it can vary from channel to channel, from one source of traffic to another. And also if the service or product which is sold on the website is varied by value, by price, the average order size can also vary a lot depending on the source or channel for traffic. So how we solve that problem, we used, as I said, the behavior, real-time behavior of website visitors on the website, and predict the expected conversion rate and likely order size for every website visitor in real time. How we do it, already mentioned it for the when we discussed the predictive attribution. All the information for the top and middle of the funnel, all the page views, clicks, specific events, some additional information like geolocation or the browser information or device information can also help. And altogether, that helps to create reliable, good quality predictions, and to see what is the dollar-nominated value for every session out there. And also, if you build the model in the right way, you can do it incremental, meaning that you only calculate the increase in the value of the session that happened during that website session, if it is a repeat visitor. So as a result of this predictive attribution modeling and the scoring that you do, you can take all the website visits, for example, for today, and you can sort them by the predicted value, from 0 to the maximum score you can get. And from my experience, for many industries already, you can get a very skewed distribution of these scores. Usually, like 80 to 90% of the website visitors for any website are just junk. So these are, I don't know, we call them dreamers. Like when I used to work in the e-commerce company, we sold airline tickets, for example, and people love to go to the website and dream about their vacation. Like oh, what if I fly to Maldives and spend 2 weeks there? How much it will cost? Or when I was working in real estate, like people go to Zillow, Compass, and websites like that, and they want to learn what was the price of a house that had been previously sold in the neighborhood, or they were walking on a street and they see a nice house, and we want to learn like how does it look inside, and what is the price of the house. So in my teams, we usually call these people dreamers, and sometimes they're called window shoppers. And there are a lot of them on every website for every business. But the thing is that the people who really need your service or your product, they behave differently. They reveal their intent on the website, specifically, showing that they, have higher chances to convert in the future. And maybe, they will buy from someone else. Maybe they will buy not from your brokerage. They will buy an apartment from another brokerage because they sell this particular house, but they're in the market. They are strongly interested in your product, and by using their high probability of conversion, high value expected in the future, you can guide Google and Facebook to bring more website visitors like that. So the idea behind attribution modeling is that you take the behavior, you do the model in an incremental manner, and predict the future outcomes rather than allocate the conversions that happened to the previously generated clicks. And also, what's great about predictive attribution modeling, the result of it is immediate, right after the session is over, and you can use this. You can take the dollar-nominated score from 5 to 10% of the top engaged website visitors, and send it to Google, Facebook as a synthetic conversion. It's a synthetic purchase event, and by doing so, you create fake but still reliable predicted conversion with value, frequent enough, happening online, and without any delay. there is one important thing to remember when you do prediction modeling in the web, because website visitors usually come back. If they want to buy something, they come one time, then they get back, usually from some other channel. And with every session that you see in your data stream, you give some kind of predicted value to these users, and one needs to build the modeling in a way to account for that incrementality. Here's a simple, naive approach of how to do incrementality. That's not how we do it in Tomi.ai. It's just to demonstrate the problem for you. So imagine we have 12 website visitors, and they're coming to our website, and we score them. So they came for the first visit, we score them equally, just they've been behaving in the same way, and give them $1 value. And then some time passed, and 6 of the users never came back, and the 6 of them came back for the second visit. All of them got increased their likelihood of purchase, and they got $2 value. So we already gave $1 value to them, so we only give the difference. Then we wait more, and 3 visitors come back for the third visit, and we allocate to them predict their increased lifetime value as $4. So we already accounted for $2 before. We give them $2 value, and wait for more time. Eventually, only one of the users come back and generates the transaction in the end. So this the last square should be green as well. So because we already accounted for this in the third visit. So the last visitor buys the product and gets the $12 value. That was the price of the product. So if you count all the blue lines, blue values that we added to the value of the visitors, once again excluding these 4 squares in the fourth picture, you'll get $12 of value. But the actual value from all that 12 users was $12. So this shows that you need to do a really smart approach in terms of how to create the incrementality in your predictions to make sure that your predicted value that you calculate is approximately equal to the actual sales that you're getting from a large amount of users. And if you're interested how we do it in Tomi.ai, just let us know, and we can have a demo call with you. So just to wrap up, the differences between the this complex and sophisticated attribution models, data-driven attribution model versus predictive attribution model. The first one, its drawbacks mainly that it has a long delay in terms of when you get the results. I mean, as a CMO in the past, I didn't care what happened 2 weeks ago. I needed to know what is happening today or tomorrow, and I couldn't wait for 2 months. When I was working in real estate to understand did I do the right thing launching a campaign or not. The next thing is the sensitivity to the direct deterministic link between the clicks and business outcomes, which is getting harder and harder in the current situation with privacy and stricter tracking options. And the last thing is that these data-driven attribution models are usually used for strategic decision making. The predictive attribution, on the other end, it's real time. You can use it right away, like 1 or 2 hours after the session is over. It's not that sensitive to the deterministic link between the behavior and the online and then the transactions. So you just need to have a good enough training data set when you allocated your transactions to certain website sessions and train the model. After that, you don't need that link. You just use the behavior to predict the business outcomes. And also, predictive attribution can be used for tactical optimization, because, as I said, you can send the synthetic, frequent online value-based conversions to Google and Facebook, and let Google and Facebook use the smart bidding like they do in e-commerce to optimize the bidding automatically, and you will only care what level of performance you require and what type of creatives and ad copy you need to do. So let's now switch gears and see, like, real examples of how predictive attribution can work in real life. Here's like some snapshot of typical results we are getting with our customers with our predictive optimization. That's when we come to the customer and generate the machine learning models for the customer and then send the new synthetic predictive conversions to Google and Facebook, and customers start to optimize for the expected return on advertising spend rather than the cost of lead. So usually when you switch from lead optimization to the expected business outcomes value, of course you'll get a higher cost per lead because it's not the goal anymore, and you target more quality website visitors. Usually the cost per click is getting higher, but sometimes you can get cheaper clicks with lower conversion rate, but a better quality of leads. Like this is the negative outcome of the new approach, but it's compensated by two other things. First of all, in many cases the conversion from lead to order becomes much better. So like, I mean, it's exciting to see every time when you get like 60%, 100% more conversion rate from lead to order, because you use this approach and you bring a better quality leads to your website. And the last thing is, if you have some variability in the price of product or service you're selling or the lifetime value that you generate, also this approach helps Google and Facebook target better audience, spend money on better clicks if it's like on better keywords, if it's a search in Google. So you get a higher order value, usually like from 20 to 40% larger average order value. So altogether it can bring up to 2 times better return on advertising spend. So here's the a screenshot of a real dashboard inside the Tomi.ai product that shows the A/B test results section. And this customer ran an extensive A/B test with 12 campaigns for 3 months on a substantial amount of budget. And they took the control campaigns that they have been running before and created exact copies of them, but this time with optimizing for the predictive synthetic conversions, the new conversions we activated to their Facebook account, and check the results. So on this dashboard, you see anonymized data, so that it doesn't show any values, like monetary values. And it has from left to right the cost spent per campaign, visits, a number of visits originated from that campaign, cost per click, then a number of contacts collected from the website, cost per contact, then number of leads. These are qualified leads from this traffic. Cost per lead, and then number of orders, cost per order, then sales measured in value, business value. Return on advertising spend is sales divided by cost. Then we have 2 important metrics, CR1 and CR2. CR1 is conversion from visit to contact, and CR2 is from contact to order. CR is the overall conversion rate, then revenue per visit, average order value, and 3 last metrics are the predictive metrics. The first one is quantity of synthetic conversions we sent to Google and Facebook, in this case to Facebook. Sales LTV is our proprietary incremental predictive metric, which is correlated very well with the future sales that these campaigns are generating. And expected ROAS, eROAS as we call it, is the sales LTV divided by cost. So this is the standard dashboard our customer have. This customer has a clear problem of very rare transactions. As you may see, their full conversion rate from visit to order is about 0.1%. And for 3 months from 11 campaigns, we got only 70 orders total. And that means that you cannot use these orders as a goal for optimization in Facebook. And also, this customer, of course, has the lag between, how long it takes from lead to order, in terms of conversion. So the status quo when we came was optimizing for the cost per collected contact. So the control campaigns were minimizing the CPA, this orange triangle. And with our approach, we send the synthetic sales deal TV events to Facebook. And as you may see, we send even more events than the number of contacts that are collected on the website. So some of the website visitors who come to the websites, they are engaged. We demonstrate that they are interested with their behavior. And for some reason, they didn't leave the contacts. We still understand that they're high intenders, and we trigger the event to Facebook. And here you see that we sent hundreds of these synthetic events within the 3 months period of time. All these events also, each of them have certain predicted value, which correlates with the future probabilistic revenue that is coming from there. And we get the expected ROAS, which is more or less in line with what we actually got as a result. As a result of this A/B test, optimization for the expected ROAS versus the cost per lead, the customer got more than 2 times higher return on advertising spend in test campaigns versus control. The only difference was the optimization for the new custom goal inside Facebook. And as I explained on the previous slide, the cost per contact became 58% higher in test versus control, which is kind of clear because we are now targeting for high intenders rather than people who are easy to give their contacts. And most importantly, the quality of this contacts is getting much better, 2.5 times better. So CR2, conversion from contact to order, is 155% higher. It used to be 3%, and now it's 7.7%. And last but not least, the average order value also grew by 36%. So we helped our customer to sell more expensive products by doing so. This is the demo that we have with a real customer. If you're interested to learn more, please contact us, contact Tomi.ai team, and we'll give you more detailed introduction and demo of our predictive attribution modeling, lead scoring, and predictive optimization. So this is the end of our webinar. Let's switch to questions that we have in the chat. All the participants, please feel free to write your questions in the chat, and I'll get through them. Let me stay somewhere here, for example. Okay. So the first question is, have you tried comparing data-driven attribution with Markov models against predictive attribution? Yes, we had a few customers who used to have a Markov chain model in addition to simple rule-based models, and we did the comparison. Once again, the predictive attribution model is more quick to provide the results. It's tactical, and it can be used for ad optimization. What we did for that customer, and with that customer, we got almost double of the return on advertising spend. It was a B2B SaaS solution. The next question from our attenders: what metrics do you personally let me stop sharing just. What metrics do you personally look at in this dashboard? Yeah, so as I mentioned when I was looking at the dashboard, the most important metric, of course, is the actual return on advertising spend that is happening over a long period of time. But the more quick metric is the expected return on advertising spend, the last column on the dashboard. And always when we run the campaigns with the predictive optimization tactics, we check that we are getting better quality leads with better conversion to order and higher average order value. The next question just came. So how long does it take for predictive scores to mature into real data? Yes, so it's a really good question. It's important to talk about it. And in long cycle businesses, in real estate, in banking, in expensive B2B SaaS, the time from the time when the lead is collected to the actual business transaction and money collected by the business can be weeks or months. Let's take an example of a B2B SaaS, for example. It's becoming popular to have a product-led growth or free trial type of work for SaaS companies. And there is common situation when you have a free trial, you acquire a lead converts into a customer, and you have a 1 month trial period, right? So you will know that the customer will pay you only 1 month after the registration, right? And also, in many cases, people just forget about the first payment, and they switch off the service, the trial, after the first payment. So only by the second month, by the end of the second month, you'll know that you actually got an interested customer with potential high lifetime value that will bring money to you in the future. And usually in B2B SaaS, the target customer acquisition cost equals to 3 to 6 months of payments. So we really need to acquire this good leads that will not only do the trial, not will only do the first payment, but will pay for the second time. So let me see our next question. Why do you focus on long cycle businesses? Doesn't it work for e-commerce? So it's also a really interesting question. So first of all, as I described, long cycle businesses have the highest pain in terms of this broken feedback loop when they have conversions that are maturing long in time, like in weeks or months, very rare conversions, like way below 1%. And offline, the transactions are happening offline. And if you have at least 2 of these problems, you'll get good incremental business results from the application of predictive optimization and predictive attribution. But even in e-commerce, where you don't have all 3 of these problems, we saw a good uplift of up to 40 or 60% ROAS improvement in e-commerce businesses where that sell electronics or furniture. Because when you buy furniture or electronics, you still spend multiple sessions and multiple days to select the product that you want to buy. You usually look at multiple websites and compare, and so that you may be not a buyer in that particular website, but you'll probably buy somewhere else. But your behavior can show that you're interested a lot to buy this product. So our approach is, the predictive attribution modeling can work for any business, but the predictive optimization provides the best results, more than 10-20% ROAS improvement for businesses with this long cycles in sales or long cycles in LTV. The next question. So do we have questions? So let's have this and the question, maybe last one, if we have any. So this question: does your attribution work for paid channels only, or do you score organic and referral traffic as well? So the answer is we use the overall traffic of the website to train the model, so that we extract the intent signal and its correlation to the future business outcomes from every channel, and we rely only on behavioral features, so that whenever we have any new channel, any new campaign, we don't need the history of clickstream from that particular campaign. We extract the value from the behavior itself. And yes, as a result of the application of the models, we use the models not only for paid channels, not only Google, Facebook, but for any type of traffic that is coming to your website. And by using our predictive attribution, you can compare quality of traffic that you're getting from your CPA affiliate partners, or the traffic that you're getting from bloggers, to understand whether you actually get good enough traffic. Or if you do some PR and you get some buzz created in the news, and you can attribute the traffic to certain newspapers according to the referrer in the traffic, you can understand whether you generate just dreamers or like curious window shoppers or just or high intenders. And you can understand it very quickly without waiting for the actual conversions to come in a week or in several weeks' time. So the last question, being like trying to fit into the time we have. So the last question is, can you help evaluate the channels we have recently turned off, or will you have to redo the tests? Yeah, so whenever you start collecting the data with your clickstream solution, like Segment, for example, or you place the Tomi.ai pixel on your website that collects the behavior of website visitors on your website, you get that data. And also, if you can link this data to the offline transactions by some anonymous identifiers, you can build the models on top of this data. You look at the results of these models on this data, etc. So if you already had the data collection on your website like Tomi.ai pixel and want to get back to the results of the test of the campaign that you had in the past, you'll see the results of the predictive attribution. You'll be able to understand what is the impact of this channel, holistically across the full funnel from top to bottom in terms of the actual impact they generated in the past. So this is the end of our webinar. It was a pleasure to spend the 1 hour with you as an audience. If you have any questions, you can connect to us directly, and we'll organize an intro or a demo call and go through the predictive attribution and predictive optimization solutions in more detail. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.